Yes, I am. I'm actually. It was my first taste of Pikes Peak with a Honda Turbo Odyssey minivan. It was built by Honda Manufacturing of Alabama, and they were kind enough to give us the vehicle for the event. Honda had 11 vehicles in 9 different entries, so it was a big event for Honda. And for me, it was the opportunity to discover what was Pikes Peak all about. It has been a dream of mine since I'm a child. You know, it's a big event in France. That's especially why Peugeot Sport came back with Loeb and tried to do that record. So there were a lot of Frenchmen actually, and I felt like I had to go. But I felt like I had to go because I actually enjoy this kind of racing, and I had a great time. I mean, the minivan was actually really fast. Unfortunately, it rained when I went out, so our record was not as good as I expected. But all in all, it was a great experience, and a good first taste before I want to go back with something a little bit more crazy. Well, I think it actually fits into one of the craziest events I've been at. Because it's back to what I've heard about racing. It seems to be back in the days still, and I kind of enjoy that. What I really enjoy about Pikes Peak is to see different concepts, building their own car, coming with an unlimited rule book, and some different ideas. That's where racing is teaching you so many things, because you get to discover ideas that you've never thought about. And I found that fascinating. And as a driver, it's an event that I think is quite daunting. Obviously, it's quite dangerous, but it's also very challenging from a driving standpoint. You've got changing conditions. You have gravel in some areas because people are shortcutting the corners. It's full tarmac now. And you also have the lack of oxygen at the top of the hill, so you really have to stay very focused. And I just thought that it was a very unique event. I compared it to Le Mans for the hours, because to go training, to go test, you have to get up really early in the morning, around 2 o'clock, and go to the mountain, and you finish by 12 midday. So I compared that to Le Mans in how tiring it gets before the event. But the hill itself, going up the hill, is pretty short. There's a lot of area up and weight. And I would just say that, I went there because I love racing, and I'm a fan of racing. I'm a fan of driving any cars, and I want to, discover everything that there is about racing. And I certainly discovered one of the most exciting events I've been at. Well, yeah. I mean, obviously there's 156 corners in Pikes Peak, so it's you have to memorize the layout. But I found very difficult to visualize, to just remember the corners. So what I did is I had my co-driver with me, and she took the notes of the corners, and I learned the notes. That's my rally background that came back and helped me out. So what I can remember a week after is first corner is what I call the left 3. Then second corner under the banner is a right 4 opening, and there's about what I call 200 meters before light braking for right 4 opening, into a light right 6 braking for left 3 closing. There's another 100 meters, there's another left, which is I called it a 2 because it was actually a lot of trees on the outside and a curb on the inside. And that one's closing into right 3, which is a very tricky one also. And then that's where it becomes confusing, because you don't get to see the track as you go right now. So that's when you get into a right 3, which is very similar to what we've seen at the start. Luckily, there's hay bale on the outside with the railroad and a guardrail, so that actually helps you to know where you are. Then you go another 200 meters. There's another right, similar. They're all right 3, left 2, right 3. So that next right 3, and then I believe it's another left, and there's another 100 meters for another left, which goes straight away into a right. And that right's got it's quite dangerous, because on the outside there's a crown, so you could actually ditch the car in there. And then you go up a little bit for a left 2 that goes up, and that's where it started raining for my run, which goes into a long right, which is a 1+, I call it. And it goes up and up and up. That's where you can get some speed. Into a right, I think I call it a right 4, so that's pretty fast. and it's a left, and I need to see it to remember the rest. But that's pretty much the start of it. And as you go through, it's easier because you obviously see the film as you remember it.